Hey everybody, it's Lavender Town. And back on my usual nonsense, I'm going to be taking the planets of the solar system and turning them into cute character designs. But first, a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Widecross. Widecross is a free-to-play MOBA that focuses on team-based PvP matchups. It's pretty intuitive and easy to pick up, even if you haven't played many MOBAs before. There were almost no wait times when I clicked to start a match, even though it's matching you up with people all over the world. And I found that it was actually so intuitive. I ended up winning my very first game and being like the, I guess the top player in that game, so that was really fun. Maybe I'm a legend at this game, I'm not sure. I really liked the character I was using. Her name's Marlene. She's like this cute little fire witch character. She has really cool abilities and her reach is pretty far, so I ended up really liking her, but I gotta try the other characters too because they all have different abilities and different ways of fighting, so I think it could really change the game up depending on who you're playing. There's also guardians and monsters that constantly enter the game, and if you decide to fight them, they can turn on to your team's side and then they will fight for you, which I think is a really interesting way to make the game a bit more complicated and add more different like sort of strategic choices throughout the game, like because that takes up time obviously to sort of tame them onto your side, but they are so powerful once you do that, so you kind of have to decide whether it's worth it in each game to go that route. If you want to try playing Widecross, there's a link in the description, and thank you so much to the developers for supporting my channel. So for the first planet, I wanted to start with Mars because I've been thinking about Mars a lot, and especially about the Mars rover Opportunity. It's really sad that Opportunity was knocked over by a storm, I believe, and so she wasn't able to get back to her little battery charger thing, and she basically is trapped on Mars, which is devastating. But I wanted to do sort of a little homage to her while I was designing Mars as a character. So the primary things that I wanted to do were first to have this character of Mars, and so fundamentally I'm working with a few things. So Mars is the red planet, of course, because of the iron deposits in the soil of the planet. It's also very rocky and very cold because it is farther away than the Earth from the sun. It is a lot colder than the Earth ever gets. It also has a lot of like volcanoes and just all sorts of weather events. There's a lot of movement, like earthquakes and whatnot. And generally I was just kind of trying to work with this cold but warm colored character, which was something that I don't often do, and trying to design Opportunity basically as a little character that Mars is watching over until we can get up there and go get her. I know that maybe she won't be recoverable by that point, but I like to just imagine that we'll just plug her back in and everything will be fine. I legit might have shed a few tears when I heard the final message that Oppie sent back to Earth. It was really sad. But anyway, so with this Mars design, I basically wanted her to look like a desert kind of traveler, because by and large Mars is a desert. I don't believe there's any water, at least not any liquid water, left on Mars, though there is some evidence to show that it used to have liquid water, which is pretty exciting because it means that there's a possibility that life existed on Mars many years ago, which is part of the reason why people are so interested in it. It's a lot closer to livable sort of conditions than almost every other planet that we're aware of, at least in our own solar system. I tried to make her cloak look kind of chunky, like the chunky rocky surface of Mars, and for our little Opportunity I put these little buns on her head that kind of look like the wheels, and I put the panels that are on Opportunity's back onto her back, which made them look like little angel wings. Trying not to get emotional over this little robot again. On a lighter note, I had a secret plan to have like Elon Musk in the background, like trying to get Mars's attention, just to sort of meme on the fact that he wants to get to Mars so badly and he's so obsessed with it. But then I realized I already have two characters in a drawing that's only supposed to have one, so I thought I'd leave old Elon out of it. Next up is our home planet, Earth. Earth is a planet that I personally am very fond of. I don't know about you guys, but since it's the only one that's currently stabilizing life, unlike any other planet that we're aware of, I decided to draw her as sort of a pregnant mother figure. I know that's kind of played out, but I really felt like it was the only thing that would work for her because she is the only one who can support life, as far as we know. I mean, I'm sure if the universe is truly infinite, there's other planets who have life, but at least in our solar system, she is the only one. So I gave her basically like water hair. That is the biggest deal when it comes to Earth, having all this liquid water and these good warm conditions for things to grow and survive. So I wanted to make water a major feature. I also decided to give her a skin tone of vitiligo, I believe it's called. It's this very, very beautiful and interesting skin condition where melanin doesn't appear in certain patches on the skin, and especially when people have very dark skin, it's quite striking. And I think it looks kind of like the modeling on Earth where you see, bits of land sticking out from the ocean. So that's kind of what I was going for here. It's kind of an obvious thing, but I did put the Earth in her iris. I just felt like I really wanted to do that, and I wanted to keep the modeling and speckling throughout the entire drawing. It's one of the reasons why I decided to keep the dress simpler, so that the Earth herself could be the sort of star of the show. I didn't want to like cover her in decorations and stuff. I was tempted to put decorations that relate to like the 7 wonders of the world and all of that, and I had a lot of complicated ideas that I ended up not going with because I didn't want to clutter her, especially because all the other planets really don't have anything that I can use like that, other than some volcanoes and things like that. So I wanted to try to keep it simple, and in the end I feel like that was the right call. It just makes her sort of come together a little bit better, though I would like to try another version where I decorate her a tiny bit more. I decided to give her this sort of streaky blue hair just to make it look more and more like water, and there's a little puff at the sort of the end of it, making it look like a waterfall sort of crashing into the like foam at the bottom. I also gave her 2 little satellites sort of just hanging out around her head. They're pretty simplified, so don't look too close at them. And I gave her a green dress to represent all the plant life that she supports, that allowed animals to come to be. And basically, I just think she looks super beautiful. I was really happy with how this one turned out. I decided to keep her outfit super, super simple. I just wanted it to really be mostly all about her as a character without too much adornment. But I couldn't help but stick this little moon on the side of her head. Now that she's all done, all she needs is a name. If you can think of a good one, let me know in the comments. The names I picked from the last video are I liked Cornelius for Capricorn, it suits his personality, Aria for Aquarius, Sabrina for Scorpio, and Sage for Sagittarius. Thank you to everyone who suggested a name. Next up is Mercury, and the thing about Mercury is that it is going in the opposite direction as most of the other planets, and it is also going super, super fast. It's very, very hot too because it's the closest to the sun, and basically I just wanted to draw it as this scrappy little lad running at top speed, basically looking like a mischievous little demon, because of course he's going counter to how everyone else sort of wants to go around, and I wanted to give him like little bits of flame hair because obviously if you're that close to the sun you're really, really, really hot. So I gave him this really extreme pose. I actually really like the pose. It's making me want to do more dramatic poses for the other ones, and maybe I will for the next in this series of planets. Basically the primary struggle I had with this one was just trying to have enough of Mercury as sort of my inspiration, because we really don't know that much about it. Primarily we just know that it's kind of going its own way. It's going very fast and it's pretty hot. It's not the hottest in the solar system though, and I'll get into that in the next video when I tackle the hottest planet in the solar system, who actually had to wait because I wanted to bump up Mars into this video. He basically looks like a mischievous little kid because it is the smallest currently recognized planet in our solar system. I wanted him to look like a little lad. And I gave him some sort of exercise clothes. I was trying to make the clothes not super modern necessarily, but with him, I felt like he had to have this sort of dramatic track and field look. And as for the color picking, I decided to go with blue and yellow because in a lot of photos of Mercury, you see this extremely striking electric yellow alongside of a variety of different blue colors. And it ended up looking really good with the track and field outfit that I gave him. A surprising little thing there. I wanted to do some stuff with like a glow off of his fiery hair, but most of the time it just was not working, primarily because I think the background is light, so those kind of heavy lighting effects don't work as well. If he was in his own full illustration, I feel like I could have made it work, but I decided to scrap that and just go for more standard shading so that we could really focus on the character himself and not drown him in moody lighting. That's one of the things that I have the hardest time with, especially in my comic, is trying to decide on the lighting and trying to focus on like clarity while also making the emotions clear and not covering up all the inking work that you've just done. It's really a struggle, but luckily on digital you can sort of just scrap it if you don't like how the lighting layer is looking, which is mostly what I ended up doing with our boy Mercury. Honestly, he kind of looks like a lunatic baby version of Hades from Hercules, and I don't totally hate it. I'll be breaking this series into 3 parts so I can have 3 character designs for each part, and some of you who know a lot about the solar system and the number of planets that are currently accepted versus what used to be will understand what that means. But as for now, thank you so much for watching till the end. Thank you to Widecross for supporting the channel. Check the link in the description if you want to try playing the game. And thank you to everyone who's become a member of my channel so far. I really appreciate you jumping onto that so quickly. I already have some more emotes to design because there's new slots that are open. So that's really, really cool. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of my patrons, including Bella Story, Kalpampong, Clockwork Construct, Dionysus Hagarillis, Dr. Casket, Elizabeth Album, Hope Chilsum, Imagine Creations, JJJ, Joseph Koppel, Carla Tapia, Cat Did That, Cured, Making Claire, Midnight Doodles, Micah Dactyl, Nora Cornelison, Okamore, Ollie, Rose Espinoza, Rosie Warlock, Sergeant Pendulum, The Artsy Moose, Your Boy ST, and Zoe Stardust.